I have a question for you. Do scary movies scare you? Some people can't even watch scary movies because of the enormous, overwhelming suspense that they experience. The 2004 movie The Grudge depicts a ghostly figure of a woman who can seemingly defy gravity by walking on walls and ceilings. And this movie was a very scary phenomenon when it came out in 2004, and it still is to this day. Well, a filmmaker in Bharuch, India decided to capitalize on this fear by making his own scary film, which depicts a scary female apparition. Let's take a look, shall we?
I noticed two computer-generated imageries in this clip. The first one is called rig removal. It's when an editor removes ladders, pegs, or rigs from the final cut. Also, drawn-in limbs, which is pretty self-explanatory. Some kind of computer artist drew in her arms at some point, which we'll go over here in just a second. So let's scrub through the clip just a little bit. First, we'll go over the rig removal. If we go back to this part here, I believe that there are possibly pegs on the pillar that she's grabbing, and I believe that there are some ladders or platforms that she's stepping on. Right here, if you look at her left arm, she reaches up and is either grabbing onto the pillar or a peg, but then if you look over on the right side, she puts her right foot pretty much in the same place, which could just be a coincidence. And the other explanation is that she could be being dragged up by a rope that's also removed, which might explain the final anomaly that I found, which is occasionally there'll be a missing arm or leg. Could have been a result of a rope or harness equipment being removed. So if we look here, we'll move up to that one right there. Notice how her arm kind of extends pretty abnormally. Right there, it's just a lot clearer too, so it's almost as if it were drawn in. And then again with when she reaches with her left arm again right there, this is called the Finn the Human from Adventure Time shot because she has no elbow. She has a round arm and it's very well defined, which is in contrast to, you know, before where she's kind of just got a normal arm. All of a sudden it turns into a very well kind of almost marker arm, and it stretches way up, way farther than you could actually stretch. Her other arm stretches way up again, and that, I believe, her right arm is drawn in there too. And then when her body catches up to her actual arms, they no longer need to be drawn, and they're basically her regular arms again. So those are the drawings that I believe that are happening there. And then if you look over here on her right foot, when she comes up onto the banister here, she steps over for a second, and it looks like she's stepping on something, and then as soon as she doesn't need it anymore, she moves it. So right there, stepping on some kind of rig that's removed. And then finally, like I was talking about the anomalies, her right leg actually completely disappears until this clip right there. So go backwards, it's gone, it's back, and then forwards, it's gone, it's back. And then look at her left leg here, it kind of bounces over and then it disappears for a minute, and she kind of jerks abnormally. I believe that was where something else was removed. So these could all be anomalies caused by a rope, because also you could explain away all my other theories just by saying she was just grabbing the pillar here and kind of faking it, and she was just kind of fingering the edges of this banister here, not really pulling herself up, and the whole time she's just being pulled up by a rope all the way here, which is why eventually she kind of struggles to get over the railing here. And that could just have been a rope that they removed.
So, as you can see, this is nothing more than a little bit of photographic trickery. He does a little rig removal over here, he paints some limbs in to get them to go where he wants to over there, and before you know it, your brain has done the rest. Well, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate the view, And a shout out to one of my favorite YouTubers, CaptainDisillusion, who inspired me to make this video in the first place. I hope to make a lot more debunking viral web videos or anything. I'll see you all later.